and let me know. Got my soda. I want to try to put this camera where it's a little better suited, because I am using my webcam for YouTube. This should be better. Oh my God. This should be so much better. I got Haram by holding up my computer here. All right, here we go. Okay. So everyone, hello Nathan. I don't see comments yet on Twitter. You all are going to have to forgive me. I am a Twitter live. And if you notice like marks on my face, because I did just wake up. I took such a nap. It's not even funny. What I have here, let me get the receipts out of the way. And actually, I am going to pull my hair down. Why not? Ooh, might as well have the crazy hair. That's even better. Hey, Rinwich, that's okay. Listen, if you can make it out tomorrow, I'm probably going out to storage tomorrow, if that helps. And I got my sleep marks on my face. And I hope you all help me out with the Twitter Live. Now, here's what I have. And there's my alarm to wake me up, which I didn't even, like, hardly hear. Whoops. Oh, my God. I am such a fucking hot mess. Okay. Let's go back to Twitter. All right. That should work. You know, I don't know if I'm going live on Twitter or not. You guys are just going to have to let me know. I got nap marks on my face. And I think I got something on my teeth like normal. No, actually I don't. Okay. Nathan saw Twitter go live. You all are going to have to let me know, because I am looking at Twitter live and it looks like I am not live. So somebody please let me know if I'm live on Twitter. Otherwise, I am live on YouTube, and that's all. And why isn't that alarm stopping? And that is all that matters. Never ever done Twitter live before. So here we go. I'm going to answer questions because I can't see your questions on Twitter live. I do not even yet know how that works. Let me know. Come onto YouTube if you want to ask questions. If you put your questions in the YouTube comments, I will in fact see them. Lizzie said I was live on X, but I switched to here. I'm looking at my camera right here, which is not my iPhone, which is what I usually use to go live, but I'm using a webcam, so I don't really know what's going on with Twitter Live. Somebody please let me know if Twitter Live is working. I've never done this before. I know YouTube, though. I do know YouTube, so please. Oh, Zena, come here. We got a beagle down here. I don't know what she's doing down here. So what we do have here is a lawsuit that I filed against the Libertarian Party of Colorado. Let me see if I can stick the link to this lawsuit in the live chat for YouTube. Let's see if we can at least do that. I don't know. I stuck it in notes. Here it is. Let me see if I can put this in notes. I want to tell you guys something very, very interesting. There's the notes. Okay. So yes, I like thick packets, and I cannot lie. But we're going to go through every single part of this. And we're going to go through every single part of the lawsuit. Something I want to tell you. I am not going to be relying upon or mentioning my position with the Libertarian National Committee at all. This was filed. Let me see if I can show you guys. If you can't pull up the lawsuit, if you can see that, it says petitioner Karen Anna Harlos versus respondents Libertarian Party of Colorado and Hannah Goodman. It does not mention the Libertarian National Committee at all. Why? because my position on the National Libertarian Committee is absolutely, and it says Twitter Space has no volume since I added the stream. Interesting. I'm hitting volume on my phone. Let me know. I might just end the Twitter Space because I don't really know what I'm doing, to be honest with you. So I hope you guys share this on Twitter, because again, I've never done a Twitter Spaces before, and I'll do another one if I have to. I'm brand new to this. I'm not a boomer, but I'm 2 years away from being a boomer, and it shows. It absolutely frickin' shows. Nathan also says X video live has no sound for him. It's probably my phone sound, which sucks. Watch it on YouTube, because I'm going through a professional sound system on YouTube. So, first of all, I am not suing in my capacity as Libertarian National Committee Secretary whatsoever. My position as Libertarian National Committee has zero bearing on this lawsuit. So, you may have seen nationally that the national chair has, in fact, called an executive committee to discuss my, quote-unquote, conflict of interest when it comes to the fact that I'm a member of the Libertarian Party of Colorado. I've exercised my rights as a member of the Libertarian Party of Colorado, and she is somehow explaining that this is a conflict of interest with the Libertarian National Committee. It absolutely isn't. The chair of the Libertarian Party of Colorado is, I got like a hair on my eye, is Hannah Goodman. Would there have been a conflict with the Libertarian National Committee if the chair of the Libertarian Party of Colorado was Hannah Goodman and she was the vice chair and they were pulling this crap? No, there wouldn't be. Now, let me tell you something. When it comes to the executive committee, Nathan, I will answer your question, of the Libertarian National Committee, Angela cannot exclude me from any discussion. But the fact is, the Libertarian National Committee has nothing to do with the lawsuit that I filed from Colorado. Let me tell you where there might be a conflict of interest, though. It's not with the Libertarian National Committee. I want to tell you a story. Sit right back, and we'll tell a tale of a fateful trip. You guys might know the theme from Gilligan's Island. Let me tell you a story. So, I called the Secretary of State of Colorado, because I'm like, what the heck's going on here? And I called as a member of the Libertarian Party of Colorado. I've done one action with the Colorado Secretary of State using my title as National Secretary of the Libertarian National Committee. I filed nomination paperwork with Colorado. That is it. Every other thing I've done has been as a Colorado citizen. How would you feel, since Nathan is in chat, if I called Arizona and I started challenging paperwork filed in Arizona that has nothing to do with the National Committee? Would you think I was overstepping my bounds? And by the way, when it comes to Arizona, I did sign, I should have brought it down with me, the nomination paper for Arizona, and I emailed that to them on Friday. And I will be FedExing to that, either to Arizona or to your chair. But let's play pretend. I love pretend. I hope you love pretend too. Let's say that the campaign, not me, filed electors in Arizona. Let's say, as National Secretary, I had opinions about the electors that were filed in Arizona. If I wrote the Secretary of State of Arizona challenging the electors filed by the campaign, would I be speaking in my position as Secretary of the Libertarian Party? I think I would be, because I don't live in Arizona. I have no other business in Arizona. And the National Party has no business about electors elected in Arizona. I would think I was even more so acting in my capacity as Libertarian National Secretary if I tried to challenge electors filed in Arizona using my lp.org email address. I hope everybody would agree with that. So, let me tell you the tale. I called the Secretary of State of Colorado and said, what's going on here? And you want to know what the Secretary of State of Colorado said to me? What's going on with you guys? Why did the chair of the Libertarian National Committee write me asking me to withdraw the electors filed by the campaign, not by me? Because Hannah Goodman has accused me of feloniously filing electors with the state of Colorado. I did not. All I did was file the certificate of nomination, which is completely within my authority as Libertarian Party Secretary. I did not file any electors in Colorado, Arizona, Missouri, Texas. I'm just coming up with states, pulling out of my booty hole. Come up with some more states. Arkansas, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Virginia. I didn't file electors for anybody. I did file certificate of nomination with Colorado because it only required one signature. But apparently Angela McArdle wrote Colorado asking them to withdraw the electors that were filed by the campaign in Colorado. What business does she have to do that? Now, I want to say this is completely hearsay. I haven't seen the email, but Caleb, the election official from the Secretary of State of Colorado, read it to me over the phone. Why have I been so hot to get the records from the Secretary of State of Colorado? That's why. Because I want a copy of that email. Because there's only one of two possibilities. Angela McArdle, at the request of Hannah Goodman, the chair of the Libertarian Party of Colorado, wrote to the Secretary of State of Colorado, a state in which she is not a member, she does not live, has zero authority, and requested electors that no one from the Libertarian Party National Committee filed to be withdrawn. And there was no vote of the Libertarian National Committee for her to write such a letter. So who has the conflict of interest here? Is it me, who lives in Colorado and filed a lawsuit against not the Libertarian National Committee, the Libertarian Party of Colorado? Or is it Angela McArdle, who, without authority from the Libertarian National Committee, allegedly wrote the Secretary of State of Colorado asking for electors that were filed by our duly nominated candidates to be withdrawn? I am fully in support of this agenda item on July 30th regarding the potential conflict of interest of an LNC member in a suit filed in Colorado. But I am not the one who, and hold on, let me take care of something. There is someone who is absolutely unwelcome in my channel. Bye-bye. I did not file any electors in Colorado. I did file suit against the Libertarian Party of Colorado. It is not a conflict with the Libertarian National Committee. The Libertarian National Committee needs to butt out because this is a matter between a Colorado member, me, and the Libertarian Party of Colorado. How is it a conflict of interest? Please riddle me this. How is it a conflict of interest for the secretary of the Libertarian National Committee to defend the duly nominated candidates of the convention? Dave Davis asked what a certain someone did. Write me privately. I have severed all connections with that individual and I will not discuss it publicly. You can write me privately and I will give you a very limited explanation. It's a personal matter that I'm not going to discuss publicly. Okay. So how is it a conflict of interest? I do think there is a conflict of interest. I think the conflict of interest is that the chair of the Libertarian National Committee tried to interfere in Colorado without authority from neither the Executive Committee nor the Libertarian National Committee. There is no conflict of interest with me. I'm completely open about everything I have done. I have filed suit against the Libertarian Party of Colorado. In fact, it is, let me see if we can pull this up. And let me tell you right off, and I'll fight it. They're going to try to remove me for this, even though it has nothing to do with the Libertarian National Committee. If anyone has breached their fiduciary duty, it is the chair of the Libertarian National Committee who has interfered in Colorado without telling the LNC and without authority of the LNC. Delegates, take back your power. But I'm going to show you this lawsuit. First of all, again, I don't know if this is coming up on Twitter Live at all. I'm using Ecamm. Go to YouTube. If you're watching Twitter Live, go to YouTube so you can see the actual lawsuit yourself. Let me put the link again in YouTube chat so somebody can post it in Twitter chat so that everyone can see it. Because I want to tell you guys something really interesting here. There is a link to the lawsuit in YouTube chat. Hannah Goodman avoided service of process of this lawsuit. I thought she was Big Mare energy. Big Mare. Big Mare energy. And I'm sorry, Milo, you were promised boobs. I didn't have time to put on the Xena outfit. I'll give boobs another day. You were promised boobs. Milo is in fact correct. He got ripped off. You were promised boobs. Another day. I'm sorry, Milo. I lured you with boobs and I didn't deliver. I'll deliver another day. Remember, I am 50-something years old, so they are 50-something years old boobs, but they are glorious. I will tell you that. Okay. If the chair of the LPCO actually has big mare energy rather than broke-ass gelding energy, she'll accept service of process because I will get her served one way or another. Let me explain to you how service of process works. And let me explain to you what I would prefer. I hired a professional process server. When I say I hired, it was through donations from good folks like you. I might have to ask for more donations from good folks like you to hire a private process server because Hannah Goodman is avoiding service. She was attempted to be served last night at about 8:20 p.m. There were lights on in her home. I know she just got back from a rodeo and they didn't answer the door. Let me tell you how the law works. If a private process server cannot serve her, I will be forced to use Phillips County Sheriff's Office. I do not want to do that, obviously, as a libertarian. But let me tell you, I've already spent donor money. Who knew this is what it would be spent for? Of $550 to try to serve her. Hopefully you will all forgive me if I end up having to use the Phillips County Sheriff's Office. I will do everything I can to privately serve Hannah Goodman. But the 40,000 plus libertarians in Colorado are not going to be denied justice because Hannah Goodman thinks she's clever in avoiding service. We're not at that point yet, but I wrote her earlier today. Boy, do I have some interesting information for you. I wrote her earlier today, and I asked her to accept service by email. I also wrote the attorney that's defending them in a totally separate defamation lawsuit. Pretty interesting that they're in a defamation lawsuit. But I'm not going to comment upon that lawsuit. But they are being sued. You could check it out. I believe it's in Jefferson County, Colorado. They are being filed for defamation. So I also sent a copy to their attorney asking for that my service of process to be accepted by mail. If Hannah Goodman was as brave as she says she is, she would accept it by mail. But let me tell you something so interesting. I was so confused. That link I just posted, it's public. Anybody can view these service papers. But when I wrote Hannah and said, will you accept service of these papers by email, I attached them to the email. Now Google created a different link for these documents because they're large. Guess who was the first person to request access to view this link? And I'm like, why is anyone requesting access? I made it public. I realized that when I emailed Hannah Goodman, the email that was created made a new link that wasn't public. Guess who was the first person to request access to view this lawsuit? The chair of the Libertarian National Committee. Not Hannah Goodman. This means that Hannah forwarded that email immediately to the chair of the LNC. Why is the chair of the LNC intimately involved in a lawsuit filed in the capacity of a member of the Libertarian Party of Colorado? So much so that other than Hannah Goodman and their attorney, they asked to view access. Do you think I'm not telling you the truth? I'll show you the email. Let me go, because you know Mama always has receipts. Let me find it here. Okay, I'm going to pull this up on the screen. But there's no conflict of interest with the LNC. The LNC has nothing to do with it. It may turn out that Angela McArdle has something to do with it, but she's not the LNC. Okay, let me pull up. Okay. You'll see that I sent it to, it says state, that is state chair, and criminal law defense. That is the attorney for LPCO. I don't know why their attorney specializes in criminal law. Please do not read anything into it. People who have domains like personalinjurylaw.com doesn't mean that they only specialize, that they only work in that. So please do not read into that this is a criminal matter. It's not. But I want to show you the email addresses so you see. Let me go to my screen here. So I sent this to statechair@lpcolorado.org and criminaldefense@fielderlaw.net. So that's who I sent it to. Okay, I want to take off my screen sharing here for a minute. Now, Nathan says this could have been a private consult with somebody. Angela's not an attorney. Sure, it could have been a private consult with Angela as a private individual. I absolutely concede that. Don't you think it's a little suspicious, though? Because I do think it was from her private email address. Let's go look. I want to look at trash. It wasn't from her LP address. But let me look here. I might not be able to find it right away. Y'all will just have to take my word for it. If not, I really don't care what you think. What do Google, I think it's like access, share request. Here it is. Okay, so it was her personal email, which I am not going to share with you guys. But I'm looking at it right now. Angela McArdle at her personal email address at 10:59 a.m. requested access to the following items. Suit, Hannah Goodman. And that is the, I'll show you this. Let me screen share this. Let me screen share it right here so you guys could see. The copy she was asking for was the copy that was shared with criminal defense at fielderlaw.net and state chair at lpcolorado.org. It was the one that was shared only with that private email to the LPCO. It wasn't the public share that I put on Twitter, which means that the only place that she could have gotten this link from was from Hannah Goodman or their attorney. This suit was already public an hour before, and I just got a text that I'm taking a look at before. Hold on 1 second here. Okay, yeah, that text has nothing to do with the show. I just wanted to make sure it didn't have anything to do with the show. Okay. So, hopefully you guys still see me on chat here. Let me go back. So, this means that Hannah Goodman is in intimate contact with the chair of the LPCO about this lawsuit. And the chair of the chair of the National Party requested access, even though it was public, via a different link at 10:59 a.m. What time did I send that email to Hannah? I think it was about 10:30, if I remember correctly. Let's look again. I just showed it to you guys. 9:10. So within an hour and a half, the national chair asked to see it. No one else asked to see it. Why? Because I shared it with Hannah and her attorney, not the national chair. This means that the national chair was alerted to an internal Colorado matter. Yes, there's a conflict of interest, all right. It isn't with me. It's with the national chair. I have no issue with the rest of the LNC. As far as I know, they haven't interfered in Colorado. Today, I sent the $656 requested by the Secretary of State of Colorado regarding any communications, well, one of the document requests that they've had with Angela McArdle that tried to keep Chase off the ballot in Colorado. They read to me, Caleb read to me the email over the phone. I already know it exists. Now, did she send it from her personal email? I don't believe so. I believe Caleb said it was from an lp.org email. But I want to see it for myself. I'm not going to make an accusation till I see it for myself. But I know, in fact, she wrote him. And I don't care if it's from her personal email. If I wrote the Secretary of State of Texas, where she lives, what possible authority would I have in Texas, if not for my position as LNC Secretary? None. And she has no business in Colorado except via her position as LNC Chair. Frankly, she should resign. She's not going to. Let me tell you what's going to happen. She's going to try to remove me as secretary for exposing her. I will fight it. I will fight it in every way I can, because I have done absolutely nothing wrong. Why do I keep thinking I have something in my teeth? I don't. But a shadow in here makes it look like I do. I'm just telling you, I really do not have spinach in my teeth. I did not eat spinach. I did eat some pizza earlier today. That was quite delicious, but I did not eat spinach. But I keep seeing like a shadow. I'm assuring you I don't have anything in my teeth. Now we're going to go through the LP Colorado lawsuit so that you know it has nothing to do with the LNC and that this is a low-key threat. I learned a lot from 2021. You may see that I am like not upset the way I was in 2021, even though I know the chair is trying to remove me, your duly elected secretary, because I have done nothing wrong. My lawsuit in Colorado is as a Colorado member. I still have rights as a Colorado member that are none of Angela McArdle's business. Let's go through the lawsuit. First thing is the summons. First summons, Hannah Goodman personally, because she is CEO of the Libertarian Party of Colorado. If you guys want to keep track, it's case number 24CV for civil 578. Filed in the District Court of Denver County, State of Colorado on Friday. It will not be online. I do not know what kind of public access there is online. It's not like Florida. So you might not be able to see it online, but I'm sure this is going to be reported all over the place. But that's the case number, just so you have it. Next, and Hannah, don't be a coward. Accept service of process. You're going to get served one way or another. And if you avoid service, the law is pretty much on my side that I'm going to get recompensed for these fees. I thought you were a big mare. Don't act like a busted up gelding. Next, Libertarian Party of Colorado with Hannah Goodman as registered agent. This becomes really important because she can try to avoid service as an individual. It's a lot more serious when you choose to be registered agent for a nonprofit corporation in Colorado and choose to avoid service. Next, cover sheet. Those of you who do not know, and it is stamped by the court. I did pay the filing fee. No jury trial requested because I trust a judge to understand our bylaws much more than I do a jury. Colorado can demand a jury trial if they wish. They get to pay the $200 and something for that. Filing fee was $235. Donors paid for that. Next, and 1 second here, because people who cannot, there we go. So, civil cover sheet. Filed for myself, pro se. Now we're getting to the good stuff. I think we'll put this up on the screen, and I will read it aloud for those of you who are on Twitter Live, since I'm almost a boomer who doesn't know how that works. Let me go to my browser first and post that link and scroll down to where the lawsuit starts. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. And let me see if I can put myself on the screen at the same time. So we are sharing my screen. Yes, and I'm in a circle. That's so fancy. And, oh my God, Bunchy is getting really upset. Let me give the appropriate disclaimers and what really pisses me off about the justice system in America. I'm not a lawyer. I've been a paralegal. I've never worked in this area of law. Most Colorado people feel helpless. They wouldn't have the slightest idea of how to enforce their rights. Because I have some experience in the legal field, I can muddle through it. But I'm not an attorney. I am representing myself, as I have every constitutional right to do. If you are a Colorado attorney, have mercy on my soul and take over this case, because I'm doing the best I can to help protect the rights of over 40,000 registered libertarians in Colorado. But this isn't my area. So I would love for an attorney who wants to make a name for themselves to enter a notice of appearance on my behalf. But if nobody is out there who can, I will represent myself to the best of my ability. What angers me about American justice is that most average lay people are very intimidated by the court system. They would have no idea what to do. They would feel impotent. And I don't like anyone having that feeling. So that's why I filed the suit on my own. Because I'm not scared of the court system. I might fumble. I might not do everything right. But I'm not scared of it. And I know some of you are. And I'm fighting for you. But I do hope an attorney takes over this case and gets fucking famous over it. Because I'm not looking for that for myself. I just want to protect the rights of libertarians in Colorado. And this is none of the Libertarian National Committee's business. Now, there was an LNC member that I like, who I'm not going to name, who said, can't you just wait to elect a new board? What? This board was elected under bylaws. Are you suggesting that somehow it's a violation of the non-aggression principle for members of Colorado to enforce their contractual rights? That if a board goes rogue, the only recourse they have is to wait until the next convention? That's not libertarianism. That is hell. How dare you? Yes, we have every right to enforce our contractual rights. Libertarians believe in contracts. And that is all this is. And also let me let you know, because Hannah Goodman bragged earlier today that people are about to find out that she has nothing to her name. Well, you're going to find out tonight in this lawsuit. I didn't sue for damages. I'm not asking for any money, with one exception. And we'll go over that. I'm enforcing our rights. I'm not asking for money. Again, we'll talk about the one exception, and we're talking about under $1,000. Her dodging service, yes, I will ask for money for that. Forcing me to go down to Denver when they untimely, through negligence, by their own attorney's admission, failed to show up for an appointment and I had to take a morning off from work, yes. But statutory damages, contractual damages, I'm not asking for any money. So her bragging that she's poor, congratulations, Hannah, I'm poor too. That's why I had to do a fundraiser to even file this lawsuit. I'm not poor shaming. I'm poor too. And I'm not looking for money here. I am looking to have my rights enforced. And the rights of 40,000 libertarians that you thought you could just bend over and take a shit on. So, congratulations, my dear. We're both poor. And I'm not looking for money. Nathan, her wages will not be garnished because, again, I'm not looking for money. The most money that's at stake here is the filing fee or service costs. We're talking under $1,000. And those were paid for by generous donors. And if I need more money to pursue this lawsuit, I'll ask on Twitter. Right now, everything, absolutely everything, including the $656 requested by the Secretary of State, have been covered by generous donors because I personally do not have the money. What I do have is time. So I drafted this lawsuit, but everything else has been paid for by people, mostly people who live in Colorado. Some people who live out of state, but mostly people who live in Colorado. I'm not looking for money from Hannah Goodman or the LPCL. Why? Who will that hurt? So she's lying to you if she says I'm coming after her for damages. I am not. So let's go through the lawsuit, shall we? Parties. Yes. Oh my God, I'm not perfect. I made a mistake in paragraph number 1. Why? Because I lived in Florida nearly my whole life. This is a non-substantive error. I will be filing a notice of Scrivener's error with the court. If you read, my address is public. I didn't blot it out. It's public on my YouTube channel. I put 874 South Lindsay Street, Colorado, and then I typed in Florida. Why? I lived in Florida nearly my whole life. It's a habit. I'm so surprised I didn't type in my Florida address. I used to live at 82 Paxford Lane, Boynton Beach, Florida. So, okay, I accidentally typed in Florida. Whip me with a wet noodle. That doesn't make a difference to the lawsuit. Okay, so it says who the parties are. Out of respect, I blotted out Hannah Goodman's address. In the public filing, it's public. That's not my choice. That's state law. It's also public. If you go look up the Libertarian Party of Colorado, under the Secretary of State, it's public. That's not my choice. Where it's my choice, I voluntarily chose to redact her address. I don't see any reason for me to make it public. Let me just say this, though. She lives in a very remote area of Colorado, which makes service of process expensive. She knows I'm trying to serve her. She's avoiding service, knowing that it's super expensive. I don't know, but that's a cowardly move to me. Okay, let's go down to the next page. We're going through every page of this bitch, baby. Okay. It says how the court has subject matter jurisdiction. It says how venue is proper in Denver. Then it goes to general allegations. It does the typical incorporation paragraph that says that each allegation in this petition is incorporated into each request for relief, and the allegations in each claim are incorporated into all other claims. That's lawyer speak to say it all speaks for itself. Any allegation that's made in one count should be considered re-alleged in another count. I hate lawyer speak, but you have to put that in there. Next, it goes into CRCP. That's the Colorado Rules of Civil Procedure. Complaints or petitions. This is a petition, but for all intents and purposes, it's the same as a complaint. Let's go back to that, though. I want to show you what I pled for. Verified petition. Verified just means that I signed it and swore that it's true to the best of my knowledge. For emergency production of nonprofit records, because the LPCO is a Colorado nonprofit corporation, and it gives the statute under which I have authority to request records. A request for declaratory relief. What is that to a layperson? That means that really, it's usually used in breach of contract actions. It means that the court will interpret the contract and declare the rights of people under the contract. So the contract in question is the LPCO bylaws, and this is the only place that the National Party comes into play, but not the LNC, is the National Party bylaws. There are two entities, if you don't know. Let me explain it to you. I hold two titles. I'm not just LNC secretary. I am Libertarian Party secretary. The LNC is a nonprofit incorporation in DC. The Libertarian Party is a non-incorporated association. I hold titles with both organizations. The bylaws are the bylaws of the Libertarian Party, not of the LNC. I know that might be confusing to some people, but that is in fact the legal posture. Okay, so a request for declaratory relief that has to do with the bylaws, and request for preliminary injunction, or in the alternative, permanent injunction. So those are the grounds for this petition. That will make sense as we start to go on. And thoughts and prayers to the losers who voted down the video without even watching it. Those of you who are watching it and enjoying it, I would really appreciate a thumbs up, but I really don't care. I do Matt Walsh videos in which the Republicans swarm me, and I have a 40% approval rating. I don't care if you haven't figured out. If you're in favor of breaching bylaws, you need to go find a party where you're welcome, because you are not welcome in the Libertarian Party, where bylaws are actually enforced. Okay, back to general allegations. And I thank the hundreds of people that are watching this. So, Colorado Rules of Civil Procedure. I'm going to give you the English version of this legal speak. It means my complaint doesn't have to be perfect. I just have to generally allege that I'm entitled to relief, which in fact I did do. And it also says I can put everything but the kitchen sink in. So it says relief in the alternative or several types of demand Several types may be demanded. Whoops, another typo. Should have been demanded. So my multiple requests for relief in this petition are proper under the Colorado rules of civil procedure. A party may also state as many separate claims as he has. And it says whether it's on legal or on equitable grounds. My grounds are equitable. I am not asking for monetary damages. I am asking for equity. Hannah Goodman obviously does not understand that. But it also says no dollar amount shall be stated in the prayer or demand for relief. There's only one spot that I ask for money, and we will go over that. But in general, we're talking about under $1,000. The LPCO is an incorporated nonprofit association and minor party governed and operating under the laws of the state of Colorado. And Nathan, I thank you so much for your comments. Anyone who's wishing to comment, if you're commenting on, I do see some comments on Twitter. Let me see if I can see these. No, I really can't. I don't understand Twitter yet. Please go to youtube.com/Pink Flame of Liberty if you want me to see your comments. I do thank you for your comments, Nathan. I would appreciate other people as well. If you do have comments too, please comment and I will try to answer them as possible. I'm going back to the stream to make sure. Yep, it is still showing the complaint. Thank you, and thank you, Starfield. Okay, let's continue. The LPCO is a membership corporation. Let me tell you what the difference is with the LNC. People get really angry when Nathan, you are not bombarding. I so appreciate your comments. I wish everyone would bombard. The LNC is not a membership corporation. I know that may seem weird, but remember how I said before, there are two entities. The Libertarian Party is separate from the Libertarian National Committee. That is not the case in Colorado. The LPCO is incorporated, not the LPCO board. There's a difference. That's also different in Michigan, by the way, too. Those of you who are following the Michigan case, the Libertarian Party of Michigan Executive Committee is incorporated, not the Libertarian Party of Michigan. Colorado is different. The actual party itself is incorporated, and it is a membership corporation, unlike the LNC, unlike the Libertarian Party of Virginia, if y'all remember that case as well. Actually, was LPVA a membership corporation? I can't remember. I might have misspoken there. Let's not talk about Virginia. That was a while ago. That's been resolved. But Colorado is a membership corporation. I said see Exhibit 2, Articles of Incorporation. Exhibit 1 is the LPCO bylaws. Okay, the membership is defined, and it gives the section of the bylaws where membership is defined. The first level of membership is being a registered libertarian. There are over 40,000 registered libertarians in Colorado who are basic members of the nonprofit corporation. The voting membership is unknown. I don't know the total, but it's believed to be about 300 people or less, of which I'm a part. To be a voting member in the Colorado nonprofit, you either have to be, I just swiped a cobweb if you're noting what I'm doing. In order to be a voting member in Colorado, you have to be one of two. You have to be, first of all, a registered libertarian. Check on that. And then one of two things. A dues payer in Colorado, which is $25 a year. Check on that. Ooh, Wayne is bringing me some Grand Marnier. Oh, that's warm. Thank you.
Yes.
This is beautiful. Or you have to be a lifetime member of the National Party. I'm both. So I'm like a double member of Colorado. And they can't expel me, by the way, because I'm a lifetime member. Colorado's bylaws say that you're a voting member of Colorado if you're a lifetime member. They certainly can revoke my Colorado dues. They can't revoke my lifetime membership. Neither can the LNC. So under all circumstances, I am a voting member in Colorado. So it says the total voting membership is unknown, but it is believed to be 300 or less, of which Harlos is one. It goes on to say that Goodman is an officer of the LPCO. Okay, continuing. One second. And it goes on to say the board has control of the management and affairs of the party, consistent with these bylaws. So the board has to follow the bylaws. I think we already know that, but I wanted to show that to the court. Then it goes on to cite court law. This is true in every single state in this country, is that bylaws are a contract between the corporation, a shareholder corporation, or otherwise, and its membership. And I go on to cite case law. But the case law I would like to draw your attention to is, because most of the case law has to do with shareholder corporations. Hey, we have 4 losers right now who decided to dislike the fact that I am pursuing bylaws. So those of you who are in favor of bylaws, please hit like. I would truly, truly appreciate it, because there are some ass-mad people who are just so, they need some butt salve, because people are fighting back, and I will continue to fight back in Colorado. You want to know what? You want to call me an autistic LOL Libertarian? Yeah, baby, you're about to see what we can do. Okay, this applies with equal force to nonprofit corporations. And then it goes on to say, in interpreting, and then in this instance of this particular case I'm citing, we seek to give effect to the intent and reasonable expectation of the parties. Guess who wrote a good deal of the Colorado bylaws? I did. I think I know the intent. We did a big revision. I don't want to call it revision because that's a technical terminology, but we did extensive amendments to the Colorado bylaws in 2023? No, 2021. That's when we provided membership. I am so glad we did. Okay. Then it goes on to say that under our bylaws, we are a chartered affiliate of the National Party. This relationship can only be severed as provided in that article. And that power is not given to the board of directors. It is only given to delegates assembled at a regular convention. Ooh, woo! If any of you have had Grand Marnier, this is warm. I can't drink it yet. It's just the smell of it's too strong. I gotta wait for it to cool down a little. Then I go on to cite Roberts because I'm under both the LPCO bylaws and the National Party bylaws. We are governed by Roberts. For those of you who think, oh my God, Roberts is the culprit. I think I lost my Twitter stream. Let me know. I don't care. I'll just do it on YouTube. This would apply, I'm fairly certain, under general parliamentary law and under any parliamentary authority. It's not something that's specific to Roberts. So go ahead, think you're going to get rid of Roberts. That would not get rid of this particular issue. So the rules contained in the current edition of Roberts shall govern the party. We all know that. So Roberts goes on to define what being chartered means. It means whether you like it or not, you are bound to the national bylaws. You can read this for yourself. I'm going to stick the link again in chat because I do not want to read a million citations from Roberts. That is on page 3. Again, all you wonderful libertarians who are not degenerates, who actually believe in contracts, please hit like on this video. Okay. It also says under the LPCO bylaws and Convention Rule 4, it's only state level and below candidates that are nominated at our convention. We do not nominate president and vice president at our convention? Obviously not, because we send delegates to the national convention. And let's pretend, in fact, that we did nominate delegates at our annual convention. Anybody nominated at our annual convention has to have been a sustaining member. Sustaining member is defined earlier as being a dues-paying member of Colorado, which is defined as being a registered libertarian in Colorado who has paid at least $25 since, I think it was Christmas time of last year. But the state law says from January 1st of the convention year until the convention at which they were nominated. Has RFK been a Colorado libertarian since January 1st? Of course not. Neither has Chase Oliver, because that portion of the bylaws has nothing to do with the presidential nomination. It has to do with state nominations. And this also tracks with minor party law, which is Colorado Section 1-4-130. You can take that, you can look that up for yourself. So our Colorado bylaws only deal with state level and below nominations. So there is, I know, no one really cares about the trolls. Let me tell you, hey, it's Lissy's Clips. Let me tell you something about trolls. I learned a long time ago, they make me so much money. Because all YouTube cares about is engagement. And you want to know what? Negative engagement is engagement. And the negative trolls, they don't belong in the Libertarian Party. They actually belong in the Republican Party, where the authoritarians live. That is down the hall to the right. Bye, Felicia. Okay, so our Colorado state bylaws has absolutely nothing to do with electing president and vice presidential candidates. That is because the LPCO is a chartered affiliate of the National Party, and they have to follow the National Party bylaws. Paragraph number 21, it says who the national nominees are. Now, let's go back here a second, because people who are really into Chase aren't going to like what I have to say here. Ooh, it's still too strong. Can't drink it. I did not vote for Chase Oliver. I voted for Noda on the 7th round. I am not doing this because Chase was my candidate. I am doing this because I'm an elected officer, and it is my duty to support our nominated candidates. I am doing this because as a Colorado Libertarian member, I believe in our rights established by the bylaws. I am doing this because I'm not a baby, because I'm not a sore loser who can't accept when the candidate that I backed didn't win. I will tell you, on every single round, I voted for Michael Rechtenwald. Let me tell you something else. Chase Oliver did not vote for me as secretary. Do you see him out there denying that I am the duly elected secretary? No, because he's not a sore loser baby, unlike some people in the Libertarian Party. I respect that Chase Oliver and Mike Termott won. I did not vote for either of them. I voted for Clint for vice president, and I voted for Michael Rechtenwald for president until round 7, a president in which I voted Noda. I lost, and I accept that. And if I could not accept that, I would have resigned my position. But I am doing my duty, and I do not want to be in a voluntary society with any of you degenerates who cannot accept when you win and when you lose. I lost. It doesn't matter. So, any vacancy committee created by the LPCO bylaws can only fill vacancies for which nominations are permitted to be done at the LPCO annual convention. As I showed earlier, we don't do president and vice president at the annual convention. Those are done at the national convention. So there is no authority for an alleged vacancy committee because there's no vacancy. The only people that can create a vacancy in the office of president and vice president is the LNC. Now, let's say that the LNC was planning to vacate the candidacy of our ticket. They can't do that. They don't have the votes. They might think they have the votes by trying to remove me or trying to move Bill Redpath or trying to move Mark Rutherford. But guess what? We have automatic appeal rights, and our positions are not vacant until we lose an appeal. So you do not have the votes. And by the time you may think you have the votes, the filing deadlines have passed in these states. You've lost. Get over it. Okay. So on July 2nd, LPCO nominated RFK, allegedly RFK. And I attached the minutes of meeting. But the fact is, there was no vacancy for them to fill. They conceded that fact by publishing in the Denver Post that they were going to have a vacancy committee to do this. Oh, weird. My Stream Deck stopped working. I'm going to have to go to my main screen here in a minute. So they conceded that that motion is void. I appealed to the Colorado JC based upon that motion. That appeal got mooted by their admission that that motion was invalid. So if you're wondering what happened, that's what happened. And committee decisions are not appealable under our bylaws, meaning that the only recourse I had is the court. So thank you for admitting that that motion was invalid, because that gave me my route to go to court. Oopsie, you messed up. You thought you were being clever and playing 9D chess, and you were playing 0D chess. Okay, Robert F. Kennedy did properly seek the presidential nomination at our national convention and lost on the first out of 7 rounds of voting with only 19 votes of the whole convention, 2.07% of the vote, with exactly 0 delegates from Colorado casting their vote for him. Nicole Shanahan did not seek our VP nomination. So they went on to publish in the Denver Post. Oh God, Wayne, you made this so hot. It's still, actually it isn't. It's just that the smell. This isn't a snifter. If you're familiar with Grand Marnier, woo, I'm just gonna have to, that's strong. Oh my God. Mountain Dew shooter. Now, I'd like to read to you. So it goes on to say, at the annual convention, certain persons were elected as electors. Guess what? Colorado still hasn't produced minutes for their March 23rd convention, even though the bylaws say they should have been produced by now. So I listened to the recording. You can barely hear it. You can barely hear it. So I put the names of the people I could hear. Wayne Harlos, my husband, is one of the electors, by the way, and he has not resigned that position. He wrote Colorado earlier today letting them know that. But you'll see on page 5, the Colorado Secretary of State has already stated that Chase Oliver will be on the Libertarian Party ballot line. That is a win for Colorado because RFK Jr. will also be on the ballot as an independent. Coloradans are served by more choices, not less. Shame on you who wish for less choices. And only Chase Oliver and Mike Tremack can withdraw their names, not Colorado. Okay. First claim. Now you went through, that was all the general allegations. I went through the first claim, now we're getting into what's called the claim for reliefs. So all of that other stuff was just the background. Now we're getting into the meat of the lawsuit. First claim for relief, emergency demand for production of records. Under Colorado, as a member of a nonprofit corporation, I have the right to view corporate records. They refused to let me view corporate records. This isn't true in every state, but this is true in Colorado, as long as it's for a proper purpose. So I go through how I wrote them. I gave them more than 5 days. I think I gave them 10 days. I went down to the inspection location. They didn't show up. They didn't bother to even tell me they weren't going to show up. This is where I'm seeking money, is for my lost time from work. So we're not going to go through every paragraph here. I'm going to show you the proof instead. So I went down there. They didn't show up, blah, blah, blah. They wrote me a denial letter later saying it wasn't for a proper purpose because I wanted to sue them. That is the most proper purpose of all. That is why members of a nonprofit corporation asked to see records. So here are the records I requested. You can see the definitions I gave, but let me read aloud to you the records that I requested. A complete list of the voting membership. Again, just the voting membership. I could get the regular membership from the Secretary of State. The regular membership is all registered libertarians in Colorado. Number 2, a copy of any and all communications with the RFK Jr. campaign and its agents or others acting on its behalf or in advocacy of the LPCO endorsing that campaign. Because I want to know about this deal. I think there's things we don't know. Can I prove it? No. I'd like to. Number 3, a copy of any and all communications that the LPCO has had with any PAC, including any state organizer communications regarding the subject addressed in request number 2. Why did I ask for this? Because I know for a fact in the Mises PAC organizer chat, they talked about this. And if they don't produce this, they are breaking the law because I know they talked about it. And coordination with a PAC can be illegal. And I know they talked about it. Number 4, a copy of any and all communications that the LPCO has had with official representatives of any other state Libertarian Party or the National Party, including communications with the National Reconciliation Committee, of which I used to be a part, regarding the subject matter. Number 5, a copy of any and all communications that the LPCO has had with the Oliver Tremack team, because they claim they tried to resolve things with them, but not limited to Steve Dasbach, who is their campaign manager, Jim Turney, who also works on the campaign, regarding the subject addressed in request number 2, because they've lied and said that Jim Turney never reached out to him, and Jim Turney, in fact, did reach out to them. And the state's alleged refusal to put the Oliver Tremack ticket on the LPCO ballot line. And number 6, a list of all persons who have been issued lpcolorado.org email addresses, because it's not just the board who has official email addresses. I know this is a member because when I get notices of meeting, I notice there's all these other people that have LPCO email addresses. What's that all about? And then I give my lawful purpose, and I admit right off, I might want to sue them. That is a lawful purpose. There's nothing more lawful than going through the court system. Plus, I want to call a special convention. And Colorado law gives us the right to do that. But in order to do that, we have to have a petition of the voting membership. It would be a nice trick if the corporation could hide who the voting members are so that they can't be voted out. Let me tell you how, I don't care if you agree with me. How tyrannical is it to hide who the members are because you're scared of being voted out? And then I list the denial. It says it wasn't related to my rights as a member. Nothing could be more related to my rights as a member than to figure out if they were breaking the law. I don't know if they were. And if they were engaging in deals that the membership would find objectionable, and to call a special convention. Nothing could be more related to my rights. Okay, it goes on with more legalese. Third claim for relief. Request for declaratory relief. I know this is the most confusing to people who aren't familiar with the law. But again, it's basically, in layman's term, a request for the court that there are no facts under dispute, and that the court should look at the contract and interpret the contract. That's fancy for what declaratory relief is. And I go on to establish jurisdiction for declaratory relief. So we're going to skip all that. You can read it yourself. And I know that I can't resolve this within the parties, because any alleged vacancies must be filled by a vacancy committee, not the board of directors qua board of directors. And committee decisions are not appealable via the judicial committee. And I cite some case law. And they could say this is a political question. No, it isn't. It doesn't involve mere policy determinations, but has to do with interpretation of bylaws. For a court to view, and hey, Michigan people, I know you and I are on other sides of the issue, but you might like that I used a quote from a Michigan case here. For a court to view otherwise would provide court sanction to a complete lawless takeover of a membership organization by its leadership, denying the most basic of rights to its membership. Now, of course, I do not agree that happened in Michigan. I believe everything that happened in Michigan was under their bylaws, but I do agree with this statement. If it didn't happen under their bylaws, that would be trying to give cover to a lawless takeover. Freedom of association and political agency, which is even more loathsome due to the perpetrators being their own political party. Talks about how courts are loath to get involved in voluntary organizations, but that this clearly meets the burden to overcome that. Okay. Third claim for relief. Request for preliminary injunction, or in the alternative permanent injunction. It's really weird in Colorado. This might be true elsewhere. I'm not an injunction person, though I did win a preliminary injunction, or assisted in writing a preliminary injunction that was reviewed by an attorney in the Michigan case. The standard of proof for a permanent injunction is actually less in Colorado than it is for a preliminary one. That seems weird to me, but it's the way it is. Maybe that's the way it is everywhere. This isn't what I normally do. So I go through the factors to when a preliminary injunction, which is stricter factors than a permanent injunction. This has to do with telling Colorado to stop trying to remove Chase Oliver from the ballot. Deal with it, people. RFK Jr. will be on the ballot as an independent. He will not be on the ballot as a libertarian. So you can go on to see how I argue. A preliminary injunction would, hold on, I don't know why it's doing that, would preserve the status quo. There is danger of real, immediate, and irreparable injury. The preliminary injunction is necessary to prevent harm. There's no plain, speedy, and adequate remedy at law. The granting of a preliminary injunction will not disturb the public interest. I want to read this in full. Colorado voters will not be harmed by RFK Jr. and Nicole Shanahan not appearing on the Libertarian ballot line, as they have already collected and turned in enough petition signatures to appear on the Colorado general election ballot as independents. Colorado voters are harmed by less choice, not more. Colorado Libertarians, and Harlos in particular, is harmed by having her political agency and freedom of political association shamelessly and lawlessly stripped away by a rogue board of directors and the chair of the LPCO. The balance of equities, because again, this is equitable relief. Hannah Goodman does not know law, does not understand that this is an equitable relief case, not a damages case, favors the injunction. I do have reasonable probability of success on the merits. So it goes on to say that the court can find for preliminary or permanent injunction, considering the short timeframes for submission of certificates of nomination. And that is the end of the main body of my suit. You should go here and actually listen to the absolute arrogance of the LPCO executive director. I'm talking about how this is a power exchange, like he's in a BDSM relationship with the members of Colorado. Hooked on him. Okay. I don't have the signed copy here. It is with the court. I did verify it with the court. Okay, we're going to go through the exhibits. Here is the Libertarian Party of Colorado bylaws and convention rules. You can go through that. I want to show you particularly Convention Rule 4, though. Let's scroll down. Actually, I want to show you this, which is nomination of candidates. Each candidate, so these are ones that are allowed to be nominated by LPCO. So we're on D here. Each candidate must have been a sustaining member, which means of Colorado, during the entire period from January 1st of the convention year until the convention at which they are nominated, or for 90 days prior to any nomination by an affiliate, meaning a county affiliate. RFK Jr. didn't qualify. Okay. Let's go down to Convention Rule 4. Partisan public nominations, federal offices, presidential electors, not president and vice president. And then it goes on to statewide. And then you can have all the references to our minor party law within the appendix. Here's the Articles of Incorporation for the Libertarian Party of Colorado. And I want you to notice, let me look, I think it's on page 2. The nonprofit corporation will have voting members. So unlike the LNC, we do have voting members, and I am a voting member. Then the national bylaws, you all are familiar with those. Oh, how did it scan badly? It might be that way with the court. Shit, I might need to refile that if that didn't scan correctly. I will do that with the court because I have to do the notice of Scrivener's error, but the judge will ask me for that. It's also online, so it's not a big deal. Here's the certificate of nomination in Colorado for the president. Look at the highlighted thing. If candidates were nominated by a committee, which they are claiming they're able to do, attach a copy of the resolution passed at the convention, which authorized the committee to make the nomination. What convention are they talking about? Look up here. National Convention. Did the National Convention authorize Colorado to nominate different candidates? Of course they didn't. Neither did the Colorado Convention, by the way. And then the national website announces Chase Oliver and Mike Termat. And I put how Hannah Goodman even participated in the national convention to the point that she lost the vice chair race. And then here's where they alleged on July 2nd to try to nominate RFK. Then I put the certificate of nomination again, highlighting that the candidate had to be nominated at a national convention. And notice here on the affirmation, I certify that the candidate listed on this form was nominated at the stated convention. What is the stated convention? The national convention. Here's where they're trying to, in the Denver Post, claim that they're holding a vacancy committee, which they are not authorized to do. And then here's from the Colorado Secretary of State. Let's look at the bottom here. It talks about how Chase Oliver and Termont will be on the Libertarian Party ballot line. Next is my demand for records under Colorado Revised Statute 713602. And let's read what I asked for. Oh, no, I already read that in the complaint. We don't need to do that. And notice, nothing in this request is to be construed as any request on behalf of or at the behest of the National Libertarian Party. Ms. Harlos is acting merely as an LPCO voting member. I've made that clear everywhere. For Angela McArdle to try to be threatening my position, claiming that this has anything to do with my position as National Secretary, is dishonest. And I sent the legal demand to Colorado on July 9th. Hannah Goodman responded, "Your request has been received. I am compiling the request." So on July 15th, she said she's compiling the information. And I said, thank you. I want to be clear. I do understand / was made aware that there were particular discussions by persons associated with LPCO in the state organizer chat discussing their contacts with the RFK Jr. campaign staff that is explicitly included. This is in reference to the Mises Caucus state organizer chat. Okay, continuing, there's a couple here. And 2 days before I went down to inspect the records, I confirmed the statutory request letter attached for production at the Independence Institute at 9 a.m. Friday, but I gave a concession that I would accept electronic delivery before that date. The letter was sent with more than 5 business days notice. Please advise if I am getting them electronically. If you are requesting an extension, I even gave them the opportunity to request an extension, or if I need to show up on Friday morning. If I receive no answer and show up, I will be requesting my missed work time, mileage, and aggravation. It was an hour away for me to go to the LPCO's primary business location in Denver. I live in Castle Rock. I am amenable to work with the board on electronic production and even a reasonable extension, but I am not amenable to being forced to drive out there without a response. Electronic delivery is already a concession on my part, since per the statute, I can demand physical inspection. I look forward to hearing from you today or tomorrow, as I have to let my work know. Trendlin, I have no idea what's going on with California. I'm only worried about Colorado. And I can't discuss California for various reasons. So, to prove that I went to the Independence Institute on Friday, which is 2 days after this email, I took a picture at me in front of the Independence Institute in Denver. And I sent it with the metadata saying I was there at 9 a.m., the way I said I would be, on Friday, July 19th. And then I went to another entrance in case they claimed that they went to the north entrance. And there I am at the north entrance. And I sent it at 9:08. That's when I took the picture to prove that they were not there. Okay, hold on. Then here's the denial letter that was sent late after I already drove my happy ass down there, denying my request for inspection from the law office of Gary Fiedler. And here's where I wrote them when I was at the Independence Institute at 9:02 a.m. I will wait 15 minutes past the deadline. I actually waited 30 minutes. If the records are not produced, I will consider court order and order of costs. That's the only damages I've been seeking, is my time and expense to go out to the Independence Institute. And then I argue with them that it was a proper purpose. Their letter again. And here is in Colorado Public Radio News, Hannah Goodman arguing that it doesn't matter what the Secretary of State says. She is still going to fight this. Therefore, I need a preliminary injunction. I'm trying to find that. It is... And I said, Harlow said that the outcome was a win-win since both Kennedy and Oliver will likely appear on the Colorado ballot. Hannah Goodman, the state party chair, implied the fight wasn't over. And she said she has a few irons in the fire. Apparently those irons are being cowardly, and she won't accept service of process. Okay, so I think that was the end of it. Let's go back to my camera. 1 second. Here we go. Okay. Wow. I've got a lot of viewers. Come to YouTube. If you have questions, let me turn off this other camera because that is annoying. There we go. Okay. I want to see if I can figure out if I can see Twitter comments. I'm almost a boomer. Have mercy on me. But if you want to ask me questions, come to YouTube because I do see all the YouTube or Twitch. Okay, let's see if I can figure this out. You youngins, please help me, because I've never done a live before. Okay, someone is just telling me they can't do something tomorrow. Okay, that's fine. Let me see. I got some emails. And nope, nothing on there. Let's see. Text, that has nothing to do with this. Let's go to Twitter. I am going to the live stream to see if this... Oh, look, I'm looking at myself looking at the phone. This is Inception. I'm looking at myself, looking at the phone, looking at myself, looking at the phone. Okay, Zach for Liberty says I can hear you on Twitter. Jacob Luria, Hannah Goodman, Amaryllis Fox, and James Wiley are undermining our candidate. Okay. I'm obviously doing something wrong on Twitter Live. I'm going to do just a Twitter Live, maybe later tonight, to see if I can figure it out. But you youngins can let me know, because I'm an old lady with pink hair. Okay, let me go back on Twitter to see if this helps. Probably not. I really don't know what I'm doing. Okay. Put the phone back up there in case it is filming. I don't know if it's filming or not. Okay, everyone. I'm going to give it a few moments. Ooh. Am I losing my hair over this? In any event. So, let me summarize this. This lawsuit is against the Libertarian Party of Colorado only. It has nothing to do with the Libertarian National Committee. I have nothing but goodwill towards the Libertarian National Committee. I do think they're breaking the bylaws with the joint fundraising agreement, and that is the subject of a National Judicial Committee appeal. I am willing to allow that National Judicial Committee appeal to play itself out. This has nothing to do with the National Committee. This has to do with Colorado. The chair of the Libertarian National Committee has low-key threatened that I am causing some kind of conflict of interest with the LNC. No, I'm not. This has nothing to do with the LNC. What it does have to do with the LNC is that the chair of the Libertarian National Committee may have interfered in Colorado to try to keep our duly nominated candidates off of the ballot. She might not have. Let's wait to see what records we get. All I can tell you is that I was read an email by Caleb of the Colorado Secretary of State saying that she wrote trying to keep the electors from that were submitted by the campaign, not by me, because I have absolutely nothing to do with the submission of electors. Okay, hey Winrich, I just got your signal message. I didn't mean Sunday tomorrow. I'm sorry, I'm having a private conversation with Winrich. Can you come down to storage next Sunday? That's what I was asking. Not tomorrow. I'm going down tomorrow, by the way. But can you, maybe not, because I don't like being by myself and I really enjoy your company. But can you come down next Sunday? That's what I was asking Winrich. Okay, I'm going to give it a few minutes for questions. I'll sit and chat while I'm having some Grand Marnier. But I want to assure you there's absolutely no conflict of interest with the LNC. This is absolutely nothing to do with the LNC. This has to do with my rights as a Colorado member, and any LNC member who thinks I should not exercise my rights as a Colorado member is sticking their nose where they do not belong. Nothing in here has anything to do with the National Party except the National Party's interest in having its candidate on the ballot. The national chair should not be doing anything to sabotage having our duly elected candidates on the ballot in Colorado. If she's doing that, it's wrong. If she's not doing it, great. No one will be happier, because even though she and I are not getting along at this particular moment, I don't want anything shady to be going on in the LNC. I had enough of that in 2021. I just want to deal with Colorado. I just want to do my job on the LNC. I don't want them to be involved in shady shit. That's not my interest. I just want to spend time with my husband. To be honest with you, I want to watch Black Mirror and go bow shooting and go out drinking and enjoy my old age. That's what I want to do. Do you think I want to be doing this shit? I don't want to be doing this shit. I just want to be like, not a drunk old cat lady because I don't like cats, but a drunk old dog lady at least. My God. So, speaking of drunk, let's drink some Grand Marnier. Whew, that's too strong. Mountain Dew Chaser. So what's going on with the Secretary of State? So today I FedExed. Oh, let me read you my Secretary of State request. I did that on Twitter. Go watch it on Twitter. I don't feel like it. So I did send overnight on Monday. They'll get it on Monday morning. My Secretary of State document request for, I'll vaguely list out the records. Emails, correspondences, blah, 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 legalese from the RFK Jr. campaign seeking to be on the Libertarian ballot line. All letters, correspondence, legalese from any branch of the Libertarian Party seeking to put RFK on the ballot or to deny Chase Oliver and Mike Tremont being on the ballot. And I think that was pretty much it. Any and all correspondences, legalese from anybody with an lp.org or lpcolorado.org or Kennedy Associated campaign domain email. That was pretty much it. They told me it was going to take 12 hours to find all these records. I am really curious because the only email I know about is the one that was read to me and the ones I sent. And I've published everything I've sent to the Colorado Secretary of State. And none of them, except for one, and I don't think that was even under email, that was delivered personally. Nope, none of them have been under an lp.org email address. I had personally delivered the certificates of nomination. Guilty as charged. I definitely signed certificates of nomination for Mike Tremai and Chase Oliver and had them personally delivered to the Secretary of State. I've never emailed Colorado using my lp.org email address or my title. Ever. Okay. I thank you all for the super chats. There were a couple super chats I did not acknowledge earlier. The reason being, I'm not doing these shows to earn money. If I earn money, great. If I don't, great. I am doing this to educate you guys. And I know I've been quiet for a couple weeks now. I've been busy. You want to know what I've been busy doing? Oh, shit. I've been busy writing shit like this. Do you think I want to do this? No. I want to enjoy time with my husband. But there's a story in the Bible. And I think was it Ezekiel? I don't remember. But it was basically looking around going, God, somebody needs to do something about this. And that person going, oh, I'm somebody. Okay. Here I am, Lord. Send me. If I have to be the one to do something, then I'll do it. I don't want to. I don't want anything to do with this crap, to be honest with you. I want to enjoy my dotage. But until then, here we go. I love this party. Why am I doing this? Because I love this party. That's it. That's the only reason. So tomorrow, please go to Cult of RONR. Go subscribe now. Those of you who are watching, I'm going to stick this in chat. Mike Seebeck and I will be doing a show on Robert's Rules of Order, and it will have absolutely and utterly nothing to do with the Libertarian Party. Tomorrow, we're trying to get him to pass his exam. So please go and subscribe to that channel. I'd really appreciate it. Okay, now I am going to go spend time with my husband. I hope you have an awesome evening. Mi guapas de Libertad.
You gotta take what you're given, that's how we live it. Don't be mad at the system, it's simply how we've existed. I hear a lot of people talking like they politicians or choose to be an accountant because it's safe in a business, not because they want to